Hey guys, KiwiSylveon, and welcome back to Seduce Me to the Demon Wars. James's route. In the last episode, we were attacked by angels, but we survived. We made love to James, like heartwarming making love, not the smut that you would get the other way, any other ways. But this might be the end of it, because there are some things that are the same, so go like that. Okay, it's still recording. And right now we're getting to the castle. We're using our training from Shadow, and we surprised James apparently because he knew what the Shadow Realm was. Ooh, sorry about that. I did not expect that move. Took the man behind me a bit to take in, but he quickly adjusted, knowing that now wasn't the time to focus on that. I, however, felt my energy drain quickly drained. I was maintaining two people in the Shadow Plane after all. That only made sense that it used more energy. Still, I wanted to get as far as I could before returning to the real world. Well, real world. I gripped into my incubus's hand hard, and as I began to wane, slowing my run and feeling a heavy wave of dizziness consume my mind. Soon enough, warmth returned to my body, and we were both sent back into the cultural demon world. Of course, it couldn't have been a perfect straight journey without a couple of final guards at the edge of the tree line waiting for us. A band of remaining imps caught my eye, taking in that I had successfully maneuvered around their lines and reached them. I grimaced and glared at the imps, seeing that the group of three rushed at us despite the weak feeling in my knees. However, I had one last trick up my sleeve. I focused on my shadow, commanding it to come forth and defend me. My incubus and the imps gasped as a dark shadowy figure of me sprouted from the ground and formed a large sword in her hand. I glared at the imps and pointed at them, feeling my energy quickly drain once again. Get them! On my command, my shadow rushed forward and began to slice through the imps, effectively disconnecting their limbs from their bodies and cutting them open. Holy shit! Shadow powers, great. Each tried to block, but only managed to have their attack phase through my shadow like mist. They couldn't touch me, but I could kill them. I smirked as my shadow quickly zipped between them in figure eights, ripping each of them apart before letting them fall to the ground, leaving out in wailing in pain. Good job, Shadow. Good job, Shadow Alley. That was all I could do before my energy finally forced my shadow back into the ground, a wave of exhaustion rolling through my body. I began to fall forward, exhausted. My fiancé, however, quickly rushed forward and caught me in his arms.
Whoa! Are you okay?
Huh? I looked up to see James staring down at me with a deeply concerned gaze. We were safe for the moment, so I merely smiled up at him with a nod. I'm fine. I promise to protect you, like you protect me. James let out a small laugh, kissing my forehead and hugging me to him.
That you did. I'm so proud to call you mine.
Aww. I hugged him back, feeling relief that we had finally arrived at the castle and were about to rush inside. As we slowly pulled away, James lifted me up and helped me to my feet.
Will you be alright?
I nodded, shaking off the exhaustion from my mind. I was ready to end this. I looked up at the castle gates and felt a rush of determination run through me. Let's go finish this. With that, James and I rushed forward into the castle. The final battle had begun. The ringing sounds of classic swords greeted me as we sprinted into the castle towards the main hall. James placed a hand in front of me as I spotted a battle waging at the foot of the throne dais. Fuck you, Demon Lord. Diana and the Demon Lord slammed their swords against each other over and over in violent repetition, with Diana leveled to her tall opponent in flight. Just from the force behind their swings, you would think that their swords would break and bend. The sound of their steel, however, could not cover the snarls that erupted from each of them as they pressed against the clash between them.
It's over, you brute bastard!
Hey. Take out the bastard, the brute part. Save that for Sam. But Sam's nowhere like this.
We'll see about that!
With a heavy grunt, the Demon Lord pushed his sword away forward with a pulse of red energy, causing Diana to fly back and slam into a pillar with a painful thud.
Ah!
Diana crumpled to the ground, her wings instinctively folding in against her back from the impact. However, it only took a second for her to recover and look up with the rejuvenated glare. Vaulting off the ground, Diana flew at the Demon Lord once more and slammed her sword into his, a large burst of purple flames erupting from between their weapons.
Rah! I will send you to hell where you belong!
Say hi to Malix and them for me. James and I watched in silence as Diana and the Demon Lord danced their deadly duel, not wanting to get in the way of either of their rage. After all, James was merely a backup, and Diana seemed to be fine so far. For some reason, however, as I stared at Diana, something about her hips looked almost effortless. Like something was guiding her sword to land each strike. Was she that skilled in combat? After a flurry of deadlocks, Diana finally managed to swing her sword at an angle, slicing the back of the Demon Lord's hand and making him drop his weapon.
Rah, you!
That face of his. That face when you know you fucked up. Demon Lord quickly stepped back and reached his other hand back, forming a large red orb in his hand. However, as soon as he thrust forward, it began to dissolve and dissipate in the air, vanishing completely before it reached Diana's body.
What?
You fucked up, Demon Lord. You fucked up. Oh, hi, Diana. Diana stared in shock at the occurrence, taking in that its attack didn't hit her. Before she slowly grew a smirk on her face and a golden glow over her blood-red irises.
Looks like you're all out of energy.
With another angry growl, the Demon Lord repeated his action, only to stare in disbelief as it evaporated into the air. It was large enough when in his hand, yet it vanished all too quickly. Something was wrong. Diana didn't seem to care as she lifted her head back from her hand back behind her and formed a large purple orb in her palm before shooting it forward. The orb slammed into the Demon Lord's chest and pushed him back against the pillar harshly, forming large cracks in the stone of impact.
It's over!
With her battle cry, Diana gripped onto her saber with both hands and flew forward, charging to skewer the Demon Lord through the chest. As she began to fly forward, I gasped at the sight of white feathers slowly painting over Diana's demonic wings. Angels were here. Wait! Diana wasn't listening. Her eyes became completely glossed over in a gold color, and a strange white glow began to emanate from her form like holy light, and guided her forward towards her intended victim. Within a mere blink, Diana had run her saber through the Demon Lord's chest, piercing through his heart and impaling him against the pillar. James and I could do nothing but stare in shock at what Diana had done and what was happening to the succubus in question. Her body lit up almost an ethereal white glow as she snarled into the Demon Lord's face.
May Satan take you and tear you apart in the pits of hell.
Michaela, how did you do that? My body shuddered in fear at the sound of her voice. Well, she naturally had some sort of demonic resonance as she spoke. Something else was laced into her voice, giving it almost celestial lift and tone. The Demon Lord's eyes glazed over and soon lost their light as he ever so slowly went limp over the blade embedded within him, blood slowly dripping from his mouth and onto Diana's forearms. Diana, however, released the handle of her blade and glided back, shaking her arms to rid them of the Demon Lord's blood. Despite what I normally expected from Diana, the succubus didn't seem to care that her mortal enemy had fallen at last. She didn't even seem to care that her wings had become angelic and covered in beautiful white feathers. If it wasn't for her tainted demon skin and horns, I would imagine Diana at the moment to be confused as the angels I had mentioned from the human world. The reality of the situation, however, was apparent. Something was wrong with Diana.
It is done. It is over.
I looked at James, seeing his cautious but deadly glare burn itself onto Diana's form. As she looked up at him, eyes still glazed over in the gold glow.
It isn't truly over, is it?
Diana stared at the pair of us for a moment before lowering herself onto her feet on the floor and letting her new angelic wings fold against her back patiently. With an almost sickening sweet smile, Diana lifted her hand towards James and beckoned to him.
You are correct. You must take your throne, Restrau.
Fuck you, Diana. My anger flared at the sound of his true name escaping her lips, but my soul began to quiver in fear. Diana was being controlled by the angels, and now she seemed to be an instrument for James's destiny. James, however, remained at my side, glaring hard at Diana with a hand across my back and my body in protection.
You do not have permission to use my name with such familiarity.
And why do you say that? I am the queen of the demon world now, and you are my betrothed.
No, you're not. Diana ran her hands through her hair and over her horns, dragging them down over her neck, dragging them down her neck and over each curve on her upper body seductively. This was definitely not Diana.
My mind, body, and soul are completely yours, as is the domination of this world. I share these pleasures and power with you, with the purest love from the bottom of my heart, as your true, universally intended bride.
No. James reached his hand back and took my hand, knowing that her words were digging into my mind with edges of betrayal and annoyance. I knew James wouldn't accept her, but I also knew that this was not Diana, so who knew what the angel controlling her would do next? Diana tilted her head to the side, slowly lowering herself onto her knees and stretching her arms by her side, baring herself to us.
Unless you desire me to be your slave, I will happily give you the throne and eternally serve you until the end of time.
James isn't buying this.
Enough! Release her and reveal yourself, Seraph!
Zareth? What's he doing? Get back to fairy tale, Zareth. I gripped James's hand, staring wide-eyed at Diana as she simply chuckled and guided her hands together, pressing her palms between her breasts and leaning back to stare at the high marble ceiling.
This child of Lilith is offering herself to you, demon, yet you refuse to take it.
You know my answer.
It is a foolish answer. This demoness can become a vessel of power for you, the mother of your lineage. What more can you desire that the human can hope to provide?
That booty, though. She has that booty. But Allie has a booty too, you know. Stop it! This time I had to interject. This was wrong and underhanded. Whatever spell Dinah was under gripped her tightly enough to become sort of twisted submissive to James, and no part of me appreciated it. This angel was some sort of sick and twisted being that needed to be stopped somehow. Hi, James. James finally stepped forward, forming a large sword in his hand and staring down at it in serious thought.
An angel like you can never understand the desires I hold.
By the way, love the abs. Not as good as Sam's, but still, he has abs. I love his look, though.
That is because your desires are misplaced. You know deep in your heart that you desire to rule over this world. Your demonic blood craves the power.
I watched as James's gaze. I watched James gaze deep into the steel of his blade, locking eyes with himself. Still, he continued to speak.
It is true that some part of me wishes to rule this world. Some darker, unfeeling shadow of the past that was raised to live and become the ultimate lord of this plane.
As James gripped the handle of his sword tightly, he shifted his gaze to Diana's body.
But my heart knows where it belongs. With the human who loves me as I love her!
Right in the heart. My heart fluttered in my chest at James's words, feeling every ounce of passion and determination embedded within each sound. Diana, however, let out a dark laugh.
Love, how fleeting. Your defiance comes from such a weak emotion.
As Diana finally straightened back up, I stepped back from the side of her eyes. I saw black pupils, while golden eyes held two dark crosses burning within her lost irises. The smirk on her face intensified almost like a Cheshire cat's sickening grin.
Allow me to show you a power greater than love!
With a hard flap of her wings, Diana jutted forward, forming another saber in her hand and arcing it across James. Her target countered in reply, clashing his sword to hers with a heavy clang. I instantly jumped back, away from the fight. As James and Diana began to clash swords again and again. James's face showed his pure concentration as Diana's cackled in both insane glee and obsessive desire.
Fight however you like! You cannot escape your destiny!
I will, and you will not stop me!
You got it, Bastro. I can't help it. He's a babe. But Sam is mine. He's my babe. Sam is awesome. He is mine. Back off, Carrie. Go away. Go back into the... Go back. Back, Carrie. Back. Okay. The speed of their clashes increased. The rapid sounds of steel beating steel crashed through the air like a wave of violent drums. They were both equally meshed, and neither seemed to be close to giving in. How long would this fight go on for? I knew Diana was probably exhausted from the fight, but the angel was working through her, so there was a chance that her exhaustion wouldn't matter. Then again, James had not lifted a finger yet in this war, and so he had energy to spare. The entire situation became full of confusion and concern as James and Diana continued the duel without hesitation or need for air. Ugh, I get tired just thinking about that. As James took a heavy swing towards Diana, the succubus leapt back and sank gracefully on her feet, using her wings to ease her descent and stance while she licked her lips.
Love is a fleeting game! Those who expect it to bring happiness will only experience sorrow in the end!
You're wrong! I was tired of this angel trying to get in between me and James. Enough was enough. Yeah, I could see Allie just snapping now. She would know that James would be by her, so she would be a little protected, so she would let her feelings fly toward that fucker. Sorry, Diana, not you, the person controlling you. You're still a bitch, but not as bad as this guy. I stepped forward, trying desperately to find more energy within me to fight alongside James, but spoke out regardless. You know nothing. You don't know anything about love.
I know more than you ever will, human. I have lived for eons serving heaven, and have watched your kind rant and rave all about love and its existence.
Diana lifted her hand to her chest, grasping at it over where her heart was, and almost laughed at me in my words.
You humans use love for the most meaningless of things. I love him, I love her, I love this, I love that. You claim love to be a powerful emotion, yet you can't even give it the power it supposedly deserves, as you use it for everything.
I've watched that word fall on deaf ears. I've seen lives destroyed, despite love guiding them forward. The mere word has become a throwaway amalgam of letters, used to express minor joy for things that will decay and die in the end.
Love is stronger than you think. I knew deep down that the emotion of love was stronger than this angel could have ever imagined. This wasn't something that it could debate against when I had experienced it firsthand with the man it was trying to take away. True, because Allie would be like, before meeting the boys and everything, she was into her studies. She did everything her father said. She was closed up. She didn't express anything, rarely. And in my head thing, it's like, she wouldn't even show emotion to her sisters in my head. No, this is my head again. She would not show any emotion unless she was alone with them at school or whatever. But with James, he opened her up, just like she did him. They all opened up because of them. And the truth is that I'm actually like that. I've been closed up a lot, and I'm slowly opening up again because of the guy I like, and he's like my James. Ironic. Diana laughed and shook her head, guffawing at my exclamation before stretching her arms out to the side.
Love is weak! I have claimed the body of a succubus who is full of true love, and not even her love can stop me!
I stared wide-eyed at Diana. She was in love? Even more so, she had a pure and true love? But what if love was the factor behind control? Then something was off. I shook my head and glared once more at Diana, burning my gaze into her eyes at the angel who was controlling her movements. You controlling her has nothing to do with love. You're taking advantage of her being weak from the fight with the Demon Lord. Finally, Diana's face melted into a glare as she bared her teeth at me and growled.
You know nothing! Less than nothing! Filthy, unclean human! You open your mouth and spout nonsense and forget your place in the universe!
Diana's saber began to glow an unfriendly white color as Diana's hand began to quake holding it. Was Diana fighting back, or was the angel's anger shaking her limbs with rage? I wasn't able to tell.
I will erase you!
No thanks. No. I could see Allie just like, oh shit. What have I done? A hard flap of Diana's wings made Diana fly towards me, sword held high to rip me in two. However, her blade was met with James's as he rushed up and guarded me.
You!
Guarded me. James pressed back against Diana's saber, his body glowing a dark gold color in response to her ever-growing aura.
Your battle is with me, Angel. I will not let you touch her!
With a heavy snarl, Diana pressed herself against the deadlock, leaning towards James and practically frothing at the mouth.
I will make you yield!
Unaffected by her scream, James summoned a burst of yellow energy forward, knocking Diana back toward the throne dais. Diana flipped back and floated in the air gracefully, shaking her head before sneering at James. Demons sprang at each other once more, slamming their swords together in hopes to push the other away or strike their opponent down. Purple and gold clashed through the room, the speed of their duel growing exponentially with each hit and parry. Watching Diana, however, I could... Why do I hear music? I mean, like, singing. Weird. Her hits became wild and thrown by adrenaline instead of with purpose and intent to kill. The angel wouldn't be able to hold on for long. James was putting up a good fight despite this, easily blocking and dodging her attacks before pummeling a barrage of his own, laced with gold energy that burst between their swords at each hit. As soon as an opening became available once again, James gripped onto Diana's wrist and twisted it back, making her release her saber with a painful scream and causing him to drop his own sword.
Enough of this!
Using the momentum of his attack, James spun Diana around so her arm was almost dislocated behind her and slammed his feet into the back of her knees, causing her to buckle forward and land with two painful thuds. James, however, pushed Diana further down and slammed her body into the ground, trapping her arm against her back with a foot and gripping onto Diana's large wings with both hands. I guessed. He wasn't going to rip them off of her, right? With a concentrated glare on the back of Diana's head, his fist tightened around Diana's feathery wings and suddenly sent a wave of golden flames through them. The fire stopped at Diana's back, only consuming the wings in the golden red flame. Diana's scream echoed through the room, bouncing off of the floor and walls in frenzy as she could do nothing but feel flames engulf her wings. The feathers that painted over them began to burn and dissolve into ash, falling around her. Soon enough, the pain became unbearable enough to force Diana to make her wings vanish back into her skin, where two large burn marks singed themselves.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would be too. Not giving Diana a single ounce of mercy, James dug his foot beneath her body and flipped her over, causing her back to arch in pain from the impact of her burns on the marble. Smoke snaked out from her back as she gasped loudly. As Diana opened her mouth and let out her breath, James quickly grasped onto her neck, squeezing tightly and causing the succubus beneath him to choke. James! Neither demon would hear me as Diana grabbed onto James's wrist and began to claw at him, desperate to make him let go of her. Her eyes began to flicker from gold to their original clear white and red colors as Diana could do nothing but spasm from lack of air. Stop him, duh! I needed to stop him before he killed her. The angel wasn't worth her death. I rushed forward and grabbed onto James's arm, making him look up at me as I knelt down beside him. James, stop it! You'll kill Diana! James stared at me, taking in what I had said with the same surprised look before looking down at the succubus beneath him and glaring hard. Was he going to kill her anyway?
Come out and fight me!
With a burst of energy surging through James's hand, Diana arched back, a spray of frothy saliva and blood erupting from her mouth and towards the far wall. James's grip loosened around her neck, but Diana's body continued to spasm from James's attack. Diana's eyes rolled back into the back of her head, finally fading from gold to white as she gasped for air and her body relaxed at last. As Diana's body finally went limp and toned onto the marble, a large white aura of smoke wisped out of her chest and shot itself at the prone Diana, settling on it, the steps, and slowly growing taller in place. The white smoke finally formed into a familiar cloaked being who was arched forward with his veiny hands tensed out beside him. Something about the angel, however, seemed different than before, as if he had somehow gained energy from being within Diana.
You filthy cur! You continue to try and defy your destiny when it is useless!
James stood and glared hard at the angel, forming his sword once again in his hand and pointing it toward his new opponent. His body began to glow, and the room began to brighten with his golden aura.
I have no such destiny to remain in this world. My life is bound to the one I love, not to an empty chair gained through blood.
You will have no choice in the matter!
Like two bullets, James and the angel rushed at each other and collided with James's sword against the angel's bare hand. I expected James's blade to tear through the angel's flesh, but the steel pressed against the angel's hand like it was grazing stone. The angel gripped to James's blade and slowly began to crush it beneath his hand, causing the magic surrounding it to falter and fade. James and I stood wide-eyed as the angel was able to rip the broken piece of the sword off and toss it to the side like it was plastic. Determined still, James shot his energy through his sword and reformed the blade. Going once again for another attack, only to be blocked by the angel's forearms. On impact, the steel of the blade sounded like glass falling to the ground.
I am no mere servant of heaven, demon. I am the keeper of destiny, the scribe of fates. You cannot defeat me no matter what spells you conjure.
Upon his final words, the angel pressed his hands forward and slammed them against James' chest, forcing him to fly back and slam into a far wall. James! I instantly began to rush towards him, but found myself being lifted off of the ground by the back of my neck and pulled away from James toward the angel.
No!
I grabbed it at the back of my neck, feeling the angel's hand and grip it tightly and keep my body afloat somehow. His hand felt indeed like stone and concrete, grazing against my skin roughly and almost tearing at the flesh as I struggled. Let me go!
I should have forced you to choose from the beginning, demon. This human will not see a reason to let you go, but I know that you will see a reason in the offer I will graciously give you now.
The angel held my body out, dangling me in the air like a dog, as I flailed and clawed at the angel's arm. My nails merely scratched against his stone skin as I felt my energy slowly deplete even further than it was in my spirit.
Accept your fate, demon, and I will bring her back to the human world unharmed. Refuse, and I will release her to the gates of hell for the devil spawn to ravish.
As he spoke of James' potential refusal, a large wave of heat burst out beneath me at my feet, causing me to look down and steam at the same ground. Beneath my body was a large open circle with red flames flaring out of it. Between the flames, we could barely make out the sight of hundreds of hands reaching up to try to stretch themselves through the hole above them and towards me. Each hand, burned in red, sent waves of remembrance down my body as an image of malice appeared in my head. Fear only spurred me to flail harder in the hold I was in, uncaring of the friction his hands had caused me. I could feel blood gather and dribble from the back of my neck, flesh tearing open right into my hands. James stared up at me, quaking in fear of the situation. We were far away from him, where he couldn't reach me even if he sprinted as I dropped. I was left with James. However, something in his eyes changed. A dark bolt moved over his eyes as his body began to float in the air.
Let her go!
As you wish!
A gasp managed to rush into my body as the angel's hand around my neck vanished without a trace. My body began to fall into a pit below me, a wave of intense heat reaming at my legs before I felt a pair of strong arms wrap around me and pulled me forward. What? I looked up to see James gripping me tightly, flying back away from the angel with me and James in his hand. As we reached the doorway of the main plant, James landed and set me down, keeping his head glare at the angel by his side. And as the angel made their way towards us, I could feel the air become colder with steady smoke.
You cannot smite me, demon. It is useless to try!
If I cannot kill you, then I will send you to a place you can never escape from.
On James' way, a large set of purple urethral tendrils snaked around the angel's neck, tugging him back roughly. James and I looked back to see Diana, risen from her unconscious state and throwing daggers at the back of the angel's cloak as her hand connected her to the tendrils around her target. It was mildly frightening to see her eyes completely cold and gold, just like James's eyes, as she snarled at her now captured victim.
How dare you defile me!
It's only Cero's job. Cero's the only one that can do that with Diana. Only he can rip off. Like, not fun. But now, it's looking interesting. The Demon Lord's dead, but we have another issue. We have an angel that tried to kill poor Allie. And that was a wrong move on his point. And now he has Diana pissed off. A pissed off incubus who has two strong feelings of love towards Allie. A pissed off succubus who is on her own right, and also a pissed off incubus. You know. Anyway, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next episode. eventually. Oh.